So that brings up another point. Competitive systems. Government controlled, government get the best scientists, but the freedom and the liberty of entrepreneurs and inventors wins. Right. Almost every time.
They do, and so this gets back to our Constitution and our Founding Fathers. They had great wisdom. They understood that big government means little citizen, and little government means big citizen. And they understood that all creative energy and all reinvention of our condition as a human race happens in the small business. It happens in the families, in the neighborhoods, in the communities. It does not happen in government. And so government, as government grows bigger and bigger, just by the nature of bureaucracy and the nature of human nature, we as Americans have to fight against bigger government because it will suffocate the creative spirit of the individual in America of reinventing ourselves.
No question. Well, in the private enterprise example, let's look forward. We've looked backward, let's look forward. Here's a quote. You said at your lecture at Hillsdale College's Kirby Center, you talked about 1 hour manned travel point to point. Is that real? You could go point to point anywhere on Earth in 1 hour.
Absolutely, and so the analogy I'll give, so Elon Musk is already doing this, and if
in the private sector.
In the private sector, it's not being done. In fact, the government has been shunning this idea of reusability, right. And we can get to that in a second. But what Elon Musk is doing is nothing new. He's just using supercomputing and the ability to build a low-cost rocket, and it would be like we were all underwater, okay? And you're like, man, I'm so frustrated. It takes me 17 hours to get to Singapore, and one of us said, well, what if we go above the water into the air where the air is thinner, and we can go at 100 miles an hour, and then we can get back down under the water.
Yeah.
And that's what Elon Musk is doing. The air is the water of the analogy, and space is the air of the analogy. He's just going up in traditional form, but with a cheap rocket because he can 3D print it and he can do new additive or advanced manufacturing.
Right.
And he just goes up into that rarefied air, moves at Mach speed, and then descends back down. And you can do that and get anywhere on planet Earth in less than an hour.
Well, there's a clip that we took from SpaceX. If we could watch that just to see played out visually what you just described.
Okay.
That's amazing. So that's real, that we really can do that? It's just math?
Right. It's just math, but down in Brownsville, Texas, Elon Musk has already built that Starship, and he's been testing it, and he's been refining it. But one of the things that gets in his way is the requirements that the government puts on things.